Today we're going to take a look at some of the public art in Chicago, Illinois. Lots of big cities include public art because people come to visit, and it just brings a little bit more spice, culture, awareness to different causes and different creations that artists make. They have a great audience with lots of people. This massive 53-foot tall sculpture made out of steel is designed by Alexander Calder. In 1974, he created the flamingo in this shocking Calder red. It is made up of the same materials as the buildings behind it, but because of its curves and open architecture, people are able to walk around it and it feels much more open and beautiful. This 29-foot tall sculpture, made out of fiberglass, was made by Jean Dubuffet in 1984. It's called Monument with Standing Beast, and it's outside of the James Thompson Center on Randolph Street. La Buffet said that he wanted the drawing to extend out into space. Two metal sculptures made out of bronze are adorning the Art Institute of Chicago. They were created by Edward Keymes in 1894, and they have been standing in front of the Art Institute for more than 100 years. They're larger than life sculptures, and sometimes you even see the city dresses them up for different holidays. Marcel Francois Bayou designed this fountain called the Clarence Buckingham Fountain in 1927. The fountain is made up of Georgia pink marble and bronze. The 4 seahorses in this sculpture represent the 4 states that border Lake Michigan. The fountain honors Clarence Buckingham, the former trustee and benefactor of the Art Institute of Chicago. Different times of day feature beautiful lights and different streams of water. Make sure you check it out. It's one of a kind. Sometimes artists commemorate events that happened with their public art. Egon Weiner created this sculpture, and it's 33-foot tall abstract bronze sculpture called Pillar of Fire. It can be found on the grounds of the Chicago Fire Academy, on the spot where legend has it Mrs. O'Leary's cow knocked over the lantern that started the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. Sometimes public art is not meant to be permanent. This piece of art, called I, was made by Tony Tassett, and it was only on display for a short amount of time near John Marshall's law school. It was 8,000 pounds of fiberglass and another 9,000 pounds of steel, and it was really just to get a little chuckle and a little bit of the viewer's attention surrounded by buildings in a big city. This 39-foot sculpture, created by famous painter Jean Moreau, represents different parts of the universe. At the bottom, you can see a moon, and then at the top, you can see a fork that represents rays of the sun. It's made out of steel and wire mesh and concrete, but it also has bronze and ceramic tiles incorporated into the design. It's at the Cook County Administration Building. Famous sculptor Louise Nevelson created this sculpture in 1983 called Dawn Shadows. The structure is configured near the L train in the loop, and it is inspired by shadows. She's best known for her sculptures of wooden stacked boxes, and it's meant to be viewed from all different angles. And actually the best view is when you're on the train platform at Madison Plaza. In 1991, Jacob Lawrence, one of the most renowned African-American artists in the 20th century, created this mosaic tile sculpture design called The Events in the Life of Harold Washington. A mosaic is made up of thousands of tiny tiles arranged together to create a piece of artwork. In this scene, Harold Washington, the first African-American mayor of Chicago, is seen raising people higher and higher through education, books, sports, and anything they want to achieve. Formerly known as the Merchandise Mart, this building is now called the Mart, and it is the largest permanent digital art projection in the world, projecting contemporary artwork across the 2.5-acre river facade of the Mart. In partnership with Chicago's Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events, Art on the Mart will show a projection nightly from 7 to 7:30 along the Chicago Riverwalk or on Wacker Drive between Wells and Franklin. Different artists design projections for every season. Located on the lakefront are 3 of our next sculptures that you're going to see: Cloudgate, the Crown Fountain, and the J. Pritzker Pavilion. Nestled between the tall skyscrapers of the city and having a backdrop of the lake is the Frank Gehry designed J. Pritzker Pavilion. It is on Randolph Street and it is made of stainless steel and 120 feet tall. This concert space is one of the most sophisticated outdoor venues of its kind in the United States. The music pavilion is crowned by Gentry's signature design of billowing curves of stainless steel. It includes a vast steel trellis which forms an acoustical canopy extending south over the Great Lawn. So you can either sit in those chairs by the performers or on the beautiful lawn and listen to different concerts. Of course, we couldn't talk about Chicago's public art without talking about the Bean, also known as Cloudgate. Inspired by liquid mercury, the precise form and mirrored finish of this extraordinary sculpture by internationally renowned British artist Anish Kapoor were achieved using computer technology to cut, roll, and mill 168 plates of 1/4 of an inch thick stainless steel. Weighing over 110 tons, Cloudgate is one of the world's largest outdoor sculpture installations and Kapoor's first public outdoor work installed in the United States. The Crown Fountain was made in 2004 by Jaume Pollença, and they are 2 50-foot tall LED and black granite screens. The School of the Art Institute of Chicago recorded over 1,000 different residents from Chicago to be the feature of this sculpture. Traditional gargoyles that were used as waterspouts were the inspiration of water flowing out of the mouths of the people. This sculpture, created by the very famous Spanish artist Pablo Picasso, was dedicated on August 15, 1967. It took several years for Picasso and designers to come up with a plan and then to implement that plan into this beautiful sculpture located in Daley Plaza. It cost over $300,000 to make this sculpture back in 1966 and 1967. Today, that would be equivalent to $2.7 million. Picasso was paid $100,000 for his work, but he refused to take the money and said it was a gift to the city. Many people speculate that this sculpture is a face based on the famous model Sylvette David that Picasso often used as his model, but some people think it's a lion or a dog. This sculpture has been featured in several movies like The Blues Brothers and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Finally, I want to talk to you about Jim Backor. He's a Chicago artist that takes his love for mosaic tiles and creates beautiful designs and puts them in potholes in the city. Sometimes they reference pop culture, political culture, or just things going on in the city. He was sick of waiting for the city to come and fill potholes that form over the winter, so he put his mosaic tile design. Now that you've watched the video on public art, I want to talk you through the template. You'll click on the template, and this just shows you that you need to circle 2 of your favorite Chicago public artworks on the gray pages. You need to reflect on your choices in the blue pages, and you need to start planning and narrowing down your topic for your final artwork on the yellow pages. These are the gray pages, and you would just simply circle your 2 favorite choices out of all 15. Here, it's asking you if you circled 2 of the 15. If your answer is yes, you can continue on to page 5. Here, you will reflect on your 2 choices. So you'll tell us what you chose or even the number, and you'll tell us why you chose it. Remember, we're not answering because I like it. We're thinking and showing a little bit more learning and thought. Maybe you'll say something like, I connected to this piece of art because I've seen it in real life, or it reminds me of this person's art. You'll do that twice right here. There are more sentence starters in the description of this Seesaw activity too, to get you thinking. So this is for your Chicago Public Art. Next week, we're going to start our final project. And this is just a planning document for you to get started, and you'll follow each one of these boxes and answer a few questions for us. It says you'll design a piece of public artwork for your school next week. This will be a drawing and not the real materials. Since we're not buying steel and spending thousands of dollars to create a massive piece of public art. So it's just going to be a plan, a drawing. That's going to be our final piece of art next week. We're going to work on it for a few more weeks. This sheet is designed to help you get your ideas and narrow down your focus for next week. It's just a brainstorming sheet, okay? If you have never ever attended a District 58 school, you're brand new to Downers Grove, then you might not put your District 58 school here. You might put your old school here, or you might just put the town of Downers Grove and find a nice spot to create a virtual piece of art for the public. But 99% of you, most of you, are going to write down your regular home school. My son attends Fairmount School, so he would write Fairmount here in the box. Even though he is a remote learner right now and doesn't really attend school at all, he would put Fairmount. If you're a kid that goes to Kingsley, but your remote teacher is from Pierce Downer, then I would still think that you would want to choose your regular school, your home school of Kingsley. Whatever makes you happy, a location that you've actually been in before. You need to think about 10 words that can relate to your school. Maybe your mascot, your school colors, some of your favorite teachers, your traditions. Traditions are like maybe your school does a special field trip in 3rd grade or 4th grade. Maybe your school usually does a special fundraiser or has a special school theme. Write 10 different ideas that are going to help you think about your location and what you could maybe design. Then you'll have to decide in circle. Are you going to design a sculpture? Mosaic, which is, those little pieces of tiles put together. Remember, it's a drawing. We're not really collecting tiles and making a mosaic. But what are you going to propose to your art teacher? Are you doing a painting or a mural, a big giant scale mural painting on the wall or somewhere special within the school? Now remember, also, it's virtual. We're not really doing it. It's just for fun. Are you creating a new gathering place? You saw some pavilions in our last artwork, or maybe something we didn't think about with public artwork. Maybe you have a different idea, something that's inspiring to you. You would just write it here. Otherwise, you circle them all. In the last yellow box, you'll answer this question. Will the artwork be interactive or be able to be touched or used by others? Yes. It's okay that people are touching it. They might need to use it for something. Maybe it's, like I said, like the gathering place, or they interact with water that's part of it. I don't know. You have to decide. No, or maybe, I haven't really decided yet. I'm still in my planning phase. Will your design be permanent or temporary? Permanent means last for years and years and years. Or will it be something that maybe washes away with water, or is affected by weather, or it's just meant to be shown for a small amount of time and then cleaned up. We saw both of these examples in our artwork and in our slideshows the past few weeks. Then you'll need to give us a little text box and say, if you really could create this piece of public art for real, not in a drawing, what would you make it out of? We've seen things made out of steel, things made out of concrete, things made out of glass and tiles, things made out of paint and spray paint and different pieces of tubing and pipes and all sorts of things. So you tell us what your sculpture is going to be made out of here. Then you turn that into your teacher and you're done. Remember, we have seen lots of kids that have turned in unfinished templates. They do page 1 and they don't do the rest. Please double check your work before you send it to your teacher. Have a great week.